Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I'm sorry I'm coming on live late. Just give me a minute. Hi, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. LinkedIn, Instagram. How are we doing? I am sorry that I am just coming live. It's been a day and it's been a day and it's been a day and yeah, I need to even apologize to my business manager. She's been calling. But we are here, we are live. My light is not where I want it to be, but I want to see how I can make that work. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. I believe that we are live on YouTube and LinkedIn. Instagram will pick up shortly. Thank you all for joining. This should have picked up by now. Copy. This should have picked up by now. So, today is 18th. Let me ask. Last week I asked everyone what is Christmas looking like Christmas where you are. So let me know. Is it looking like Christmas where you are? Is it looking like Christmas where you are? Let me know. Let me know. I won't deny you. I'm not even ready for Christmas yet, honestly. Gosh, the way I've been busy this year, I don't even understand. But we'll be ready. We'll get ready. We'll get ready. Okay, I think I'm going to have to recreate for Instagram. So please give me a minute, guys. Everyone, is Christmas looking like Christmas where you are? Let me know. What's it looking like where you are? What's it looking like where you are? Today's already 18th November, so we are about what 5 weeks only. We have only 5 weeks to Christmas. So tell me, is it looking like Christmas? You know that song that they used to sing is beginning to look like Christmas. Is it looking like Christmas where you are? Let me know, let me know, let me know. Today has been interesting. For those who are in Lagos, they told there was work was going to be done on the toll, on the axis, right? But I understand that it was taken away or it was stopped. So and I think we're now live on link on Instagram as well. So the work was stopped and people are very happy. So yes, happy to hear that. Okay, it's time for C-Suite Speak. I'm going to bring our guest up shortly, but let me know for you, if you have followed C-Suite Speak for a while, please share with me, right? What you have learned from C-Suite Speak so far. Share with me what have you learned from C-Suite Speak, because I think I just want to understand, what you've learned, what has stuck with you. Okay, let me know. What has benefited you the most with C-Suite Speak? What have you enjoyed? For me, I have learned, I was going to take a career decision, okay, and I think it was the 3 or 4 episodes ago that did it for me, that said to me, oh, something, it helped me get a decision right. Like I knew what I was supposed to do from listening and from hosting C-Suite Speak. So while, like I say, right, I do this to help people, I would say to you gladly that I have been the first beneficiary, okay, of C-Suite Speak, okay. Okay, so I see. All right, happy to listen. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Ah, okay, awesome. Hey, Ayo, how are you? I missed you the other day. I was in the building. So hope to see you soon. Uh, right, hope to see you soon again. So our guest is going to join shortly. Our guest is going to join shortly, and we're going to get this show on the road. Right, since we speak is that opportunity for you to learn from those who have gone before. Right, for you to see exactly what has worked for them, how have they grown their careers, those kind of profiles that you see. I remember, was it 2 years ago, I saw somebody's profile, right, on I saw somebody's profile on LinkedIn, and I was like, hey, when will I be able to have this kind of profile? That's all I was thinking. Like, when will I be able to have this kind of profile? So those profiles that you see, and you're asking yourself, God, when? God, when is not only for those who say they want to get married, XYZ. God, when sometimes can be, is someone able to do this in one lifetime? Is it only 15 years it takes to be able to do this? You know, let me know, guys. Is the lighting okay? Can you see me clear? Is it fine? It's not in the best place where I want it to be, but for now, we are going to have to make the most of what we have, right? Because today has been a day, the week has been a week, but thank God. Okay, okay, okay. I think our guest will soon join. Awesome, awesome. Yay, hooray! Our guest is in the building. Hooray! Ah,
Hi, sis.
you know what came to my mind? I said, we have not done video call one on one since. It's C Sweet Speak that is making me to see your face. This busyness, eh?
To tell them.
Kai, I promise you that's what came to. I'm like, well, anyways, let's leave that matter. Let's bless lives. We'll come back to that matter
Yes.
separately. Let's bless life. So,
Oh, wow.
hooray! Welcome,
Hi.
welcome. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank
As we
you. Thank
formatted,
you.
I'm happy that you're able to make time to be here and just share your story. So, a little bit about C Suite Speak so that we can get into it. I know your evenings are busy, right? So, C Suite Speak came from me recently this year watching Diary of a CEO podcast. And, that's coming to that place where I'm like, we need to tell our own stories too on this side of the Atlantic, right? We need to engage and actively tell our stories. Who is that? Who wants to join our live? It's fine. Everybody's welcome. She can
Sis
join.
Joro.
Uh, if she wants to join us, as long as she's ready for the world to see her the way she is, it's fine, right?
Really?
And so it came to me to do that. Like, we tell our own stories. I feel like, yes, we get HR principles from the world, we get finance principles, but there is a way of work that is particular to us as Africans, right? And
Yes.
we need to be able to tell our own stories. We don't tell our own stories enough,
Yes.
right? So I wanted to
Yeah.
create a platform where I can get leaders that people look at. I was saying to people that when they look at their profile, they are like, hey, in one person's lifetime, all of this. But people can see and say, this person is human like me. This person, find
Yes.
points of connection and resonance. And you can then say, if they
Yes.
can do it, then I can too, right? If they have one
Yeah.
head, maybe there's a chance that I have one head and I can do what they are doing. So that's what it's about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not scripted, it's really you just sharing your story, what you're comfortable sharing, what you think you would tell Tolu of 20 years ago.
Hmm.
What you would tell her, what the hell. That's the zone I want you to be in, right? But what I find interesting so far about C Suite Speak is while I used to think I was doing this for the younger generation, I have been the first beneficiary. I have
Hmm.
learned a lot, like major lessons, major decisions. I would just ask a question, and before you know it, a question I was thinking about in my own mind, I get answers to,
Hmm.
and that's what I
Mm-hmm.
really find
Mm-hmm.
exciting about C-Suite Speak, right? So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So we're going to go right into it, right? So we will start
Sure.
with you introducing yourself, telling us about yourself,
Okay.
what you are comfortable sharing, and I will just from there
Sure.
ask the question. So over to you. Let's meet you.
Th- Thank you. Thank you so much, Neka. Thank you for having me. I posted it on my WhatsApp status a few minutes ago. I was like, my first LinkedIn live. Oh my God, this is exciting. And all thanks to you. Thank you so much. So, speaking of learning from this, I decided I was like, let me even see episode 14. What's this thing? So I went and watched last week's episode with Mark. Hey, I'm like, wow, see wisdom. Yeah. What? No, no, no. And I'm not even finished. My brain was medical. I just paused. What did he just say? Like I've already taken things from it that I need to use to deal with the people issue on Friday. Like I'm literally going to be quoting Mark on Friday when I had a meeting with some people that, excuse me, part of work is to grow. That's part of your job description is to grow. It blew my brain. Then it said you are complaining about difficult manager. It's not going to be on your
You
resume.
see,
It's not in your
I
KPIs.
want to buy a
Nobody
billboard.
is
I
going
want
to
to
know
buy.
how difficult your manager was. No, 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 no. Nah, no, Palonski did that one. Forget. Anyway, so I just wanted to say that I'm looking forward to somehow watching all of the 13 episodes because there's so much to learn.
Thank
And
you.
I hope that I'll be able to add something
Oh,
to it
you're
today. So, about me, my name is Elizabeth Tolulope Babalala. And even that is a story in itself because professionally, I still use Babalala because Nigeria has Nigeria in terms of changing passports and things, but I am Ojo by marriage. So there's that. Now, right now, I serve as the Dean of Undergraduate Programs at the African Leadership University in Rwanda. And unlike many universities where you have a dean of student affairs and a dean of academics, I'm actually responsible for everything. I'm responsible for admissions, I'm responsible for academics, for student life, operations of my campus. I have a student body of 3,000, staff body of about 120 at this point. And then I'm also responsible right now for our Center for Entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship is a big part of what we do at ALU and at the AL Group in general. So it's a big responsibility that I am holding the pin on that center for now. Um, in my other 5 to 9 life, I am a wife, I am a mother of two beautiful girls. I am also a teens minister, and I've done teens ministry for about 20 something years at this point now, is how long I've been working with teenagers. I've done that across 5 cities on 2 continents. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
See, you know that I don't suffer fools, right? And I'm not just going
Hmm.
to say, as you were speaking, literally I was getting goosebumps because I didn't know the extent of your role,
Hmm.
that you were overseeing both academics and administration. Hell,
Hmm.
the things women do.
Sis, forget about it.
Okay, let me come back. This is going to be an interesting life because, guys, Tolu is my sister, right? So is I'm going to try to stay in podcast mode as much as I can. I already failed right off the bat. Let's be clear. I said already by giving our matter in the outside. So
In the
in
outside.
the outside, I already failed that one. But bear with me, forgive me. Let's try and keep it professional, right? Let's try. I will do my best, I promise. Tell us about this question of being dean. Is it a role you sought, or is it something that happened to you or you grew into? Talk to us about how did we arrive here? How did we arrive here?
Mm, mm. So that's a question I get often. I've been in this role for a little under 2 years, just about 5 or so months, about 5 months under 2 years now. And first of all, the fact that I don't look like your traditional dean. There's no gray hair. There isn't a lot of fat on my bones. I look like one of my students. And it happens all the time. I cannot exhaust stories about, oh, Dean, and people, like, you can see them struggling to hide their shock in that moment. But did I plan this? Did I have a 10-year plan and I'm going to be Dean in 10 years? No, I did not. Um, the more I've thought about it, I realized that passion brought me here. right? Passion and doing the work well, doing the work to the best of my abilities. You know, when we say the reward for good work is more work, that is me. I have been rewarded with work upon work, especially in the 9+ years that I've been at AOU. So no, I didn't plan it. Will I say it happened to me? Maybe. The Before I stepped into this role, so we have two campuses, one in Mauritius, one in Rwanda. The Rwanda campus is the larger campus, um, and that's by design, right? Our Mauritius campus is a smaller campus, and we had a dean in Rwanda when we set up the campus, 8 or 7, 8 years ago. But we didn't have a dean for a while because it was kind of like a startup environment for a couple years, and then 3 years ago, administration decided, look, we need, and I was in HR at the time, and we looked at the structure, and it was a case of each of these campuses need someone to run it. And then I left for maternity leave, and basically, like, it's a decision I was aware of. I made some contributions to it, and we'll hire. And I was going for maternity leave, so you go figure it out. And as I was arriving, in the US to have my baby, I get a phone call from my boss at the time. And he's like, "Oh, I have something I want to discuss with you." And I'm like, "Dude, I'm traveling. I'm just landing." He's like, "I'm sorry, I know, but I just want to talk to you about something." And then he offers me this job. Uh, and he's like, "Yeah, by the way, you have to move," because I had worked remotely for AOU for 7 years. And he said, "You have to move." I said, "You know what? I'm going to have this baby first. Then we will have this conversation." But a year plus, and here I am in this role. And so yeah, that's the answer to the question. The long answer is I didn't plan it, but passion and diligence sincerely got me here.
Hmm. Yes, it's the long answers we want, because so that people don't think, how we say, oh, it's the grace of God, or God.
Mm, mm, mm,
We want people to
mm,
understand
mm,
that yes, we're not denying grace, we're people of faith, but we're saying that there is work. I was
yeah.
somewhere 2 weeks ago or so, was it last now the days sometimes. Anyways, and I was asked a question. Person said, what is the most important thing that shapes success for you? I think was the way the question was framed.
Mm,
And I said that God rewards hard work. And I said that
mm,
because I don't want to say God alone and someone goes up saying, oh, it's just God. She just presses some buttons and God just,
mm, mm,
no.
mm, mm.
And I don't say hard work because that then denies the place of God. So I want you to
Yes,
understand that the two go together. God demands
yes,
and then he rewards hard work, right? So
yes,
so the long
yes,
answer is very welcome. Let's I want to ask a particular question, but I'm going to come back to it. I've taken
yeah.
note of it. But I want to still open up on this question of passion and diligence, right? I want to
Mm,
open up on it. How do you know someone that is diligent? We'll come back to passion, right? How do you know? How do you, as a leader at this level where you are, you've been seeing over 100 people. I've never had a team of 100. You understand? So I'm trying to picture in my head the goodness. Anyways, let me just let me ask the question, right? How would you see, how do you see diligence? Is something that you can smell? Is something that you can taste? Is something that you can measure? Is something that you can see? What, so that someone here listening here can know what they're supposed to do, that will reflect. Don't just say I'm diligent, I'm working hard. What does that mean to a leader?
what does that mean? Yeah.
Yes.
As you're saying that, literally, the images of certain people on my team are coming to mind. Literally, there's certain people that are popping into my head. One of them is about to transition out, and I am having a heart attack every time I remember that this person is leaving. But the images of certain people come to mind. And the thing that is common to all of them is they go over and above. That's the common thing. They do more than is expected. So an organization, when we're reviewing performance, we say sometimes meets expectations, exceeds expectations. These are people who exceed expectations. This is their job description. You are expecting that this thing is going to take them X number of weeks to accomplish. They need to fix a team that is not performing, and they step up to the board, and you can see the change, whether it is that they are working overtime, or it is that they came in for one job, a need arose, you ask them, can you step in? And they're like, yeah, sure, I didn't plan it, but let's get it done. And they step in, and they're not complaining, but they're doing the work. Or it's somebody who, when you're thinking about who can I give this extra project to, they are the first person that comes to mind. They are that person that managers literally have to, when you're managing managers, like I'm having to tell some of my directors, stop delegating to that person, delegate to somebody else, because it's a natural fit. This person is going to get it done. Let me just give it to them. And they will not just get it done, they will do it excellently well and with a smile on their face, with recommendations for how to make it better. That's diligence. Diligence is not just I did what they said I should do, full stop. No, I looked at the sentence. What else can I add to it? Then I took initiative. I did it and I did it well. And while I'm doing it, my main job did not drop. I was still doing that. That's what when I think about those people, that's what comes to mind. That's diligence.
You just giving us a hashtag. And guys, whether you're on Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube, please type this out. What else can I add to it?
Mm,
Hashtag, what else can I add?
mhm,
What else can I add? That is
mhm.
so powerful. And I feel like many of us, when we are stuck in that mindset of their wahala is too much, the trouble is too much, you lose out on the ideas of that what else can I add?
Yeah.
And sometimes what else can I add is not necessarily hard.
No.
Sometimes it's the language of
No.
how you present it.
Yes.
It's easy.
Yes.
What
Yes.
else can I add? What else can
Yeah.
I add? And you see, said something that as I asked the question, people were popping up. So my question to everybody on this call, if we were to ask your manager for diligent people, will you show?
Will you pop up?
Will you show? Will you?
Hey.
And there are ways to know this thing. In fact, it just occurred to me now. I have a 10 page, 10 question assessment for people to assess your value at work. Just, I hope it's on my LinkedIn page. And now, if it's not, I'll go and put it there. But see, guys, you need to know if you are valuable. So hashtag what else
Yeah.
can I add? This is November. Look at the last 6 months. Look at the last year. In all the things you have been assigned, what else have you added? Let's even keep it simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What else
Yeah.
have you added? You want promotion, you want recognition. What else have you added?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
let's shift a bit to the question of passion, right? Because you said passion
Mm.
and diligence, right?
Yeah.
And I want you to answer this question as broadly as you can, because in the work we talk about, oh, passion. I'm not passionate about this area of work. I'm not this passion. Please explain this. I like to keep this thing real because people go
Yes.
these ideas in their head, unlock their growth literally.
Yeah.
That's what their growth.
Yeah.
I'm not passionate about
Yeah.
it. It's not my area of passion. And then you're there, year one, year two, year three. It's not my area of passion. I'm waiting for the one that will be my area of passion. It's not my. Please help us, right? About this passion matter. Over to you. And please, the long answer. The long answer.
No problem. I got you. I'm thinking about this, and especially because we tend to associate passion with the thing I am interested in, the thing I enjoy doing, the thing I am comfortable with. I want to draw on what I now consider a 2 year gap in my professional experience that I didn't plan. And you remember this very well because when this opportunity came, I came to you.
Mhm.
My CEO came to me and said, this I had just gone on missions leave. So we have this thing where you take a break for, you're working for 5 years, they give you a long leave, go and rest and cool off your head and come back. And as I was leaving, he said, I have an opportunity halfway through, I have an opportunity for you. I want you to come and help us fix some things in the human resources department on our people team. And I looked at him and said, hey Tara, Esa, I'm a microbiologist, an environmental manager, a conservationist, a wildlife conservationist by training. I should come and do HR. I'm a project manager. HR. Ah. He said, yeah, it's not rocket science. I know you can do it. In that moment, I had an opportunity to say, I'm not passionate about HR. I've never seen myself as a HR person. But I looked at it as this is an organization that I am passionate about. This is a mission that we have at this organization I am passionate about. And this is a need I know exists because I have experienced it. I may not have the training, but I know people that have the training. I know NECA. I know Ogo. I could count people that I know who work in HR. And besides, there's Google, there's the internet, there's YouTube. I can read, there's Coursera. Fine. So I wasn't passionate about the specific work stream, but I was passionate about the thing that it would add value to the mission of the organization, making it easier for my colleagues to work in that organization. So it was one point in my life where I literally had to decide, am I going to be trying to keep doing the stuff I feel excited about on a daily, or will I focus on the bigger thing? And the interesting thing is that 2 year gap was part of what positioned me for this role I am in. Because to be in senior leadership, you need to understand not just budgets and programs and the technical stuff. You need to understand people, how to have difficult conversations about promotions and about what's it called, compensation, difficult conversations about performance, putting people on the performance improvement plan. You need to be able to have those difficult conversations at the drop of a hat and train other people to have them. And those 2 years taught me that. And it was part of the evaluation I did when I was considering the role. Was I see myself in leadership in the future? Which areas of a leader do I not have experience in? And human resources stood out. Like, I don't have this experience. Can I hire people to do it? Yes, that's what good leaders do. But should I have some experience? Yes. And this is the experience literally being thrown in my lap. So I focus on this example because it's not your typical I'm passionate about it and I'm going to do it. And truthfully, that is what has gotten me from one opportunity to the next. Is I'm passionate about this thing. I'm gonna do what I can. I'll stretch myself, burn the night candle, etc. But this was a time when it wasn't the passion for the job, so to speak. It was the passion for the bigger mission that drove me to step into that opportunity. So yeah, passion.
Ah, people of the Lord, are you present like this? Because you've taken it a completely different direction.
Hmm.
Honestly, it's where do I even begin to unpack this thing from now? You see, we say we are at work, right? And we don't even see work as an opportunity to add value. And I'm
Hmm.
not even saying this to shade anybody because it's human nature to be selfish, right? But it's now maturity to go beyond what is human nature and say, how can I add value? And
Yeah.
so eyes were on the ball. I am passionate about the success of this organization, of this institution. I am passionate about it. If this is what I need to do to get it there, then let me start thinking about it. Then you step back, or alongside that evaluation is, where am I even going?
Hmm.
Where am I going as a person?
Hmm.
Many of us wake up in the morning and we're just allowing life toss us in different directions.
Yeah.
And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that everybody must have a 10-year plan or 5-year plan, but at least have some clarity
Hmm.
about what you like and what it is that you want your life to look like. What does that what do you want your life to look like? So I
Hmm.
want to say something you said about the decision process, right? In this.
Hmm.
When I mean you've talked about two different decision points, right? When you were called. You talked about saying, oh, I can get this. Explain more a bit to us, right? For someone who is here who feels like their company's wahala is too much. They are giving me this, giving me this, giving me that to do, right? And I'm not saying you shouldn't be compensated for what you are asked to do. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying advise us. What is the way to go about it? You are being asked to do additional work. You are being asked to do stuff you didn't bargain for. You are being asked to do what's to help us, show us how you walk through it to your decision process. Is there a time to push back? Is there a time to accept? Is there a time to time the conversation? Please just educate our people about that. When something that you're not expecting is thrown at you at work, how do you handle it?
Hmm. Okay, so I'm thinking about both of the decision points here, right? One of the questions I asked myself was, can I add value here? Is this something that I can add value to? Is this an opportunity for me to add value? That was one. Number two is, can I benefit from this as a person, as an individual, right? So in one case, it was, this is where I'm going. one of the things that I need is how to manage people. That's going to add value to me. So, okay, yes, that checks the box. Same thing with the current role, right? Is I see myself leading groups, leading organizations, leading teams. This is an opportunity to do that in a space that I am currently familiar with, right? So, can it add value to me? Yes. Then I ask myself, is this thing going to stretch me? And I think this one is a difficult one sometimes because the human tendency is to stay comfortable. But like Mark said on the last one, growth is a part of the job description. If you're not growing, you're dying. You can't be stagnant. So is this thing going to grow me? Is it going to stretch me? Am I going to learn something? Am I going to be forced to learn something that I don't already know? I don't have a PhD. I don't know of any dean anywhere that doesn't either have a PhD or at least 5 to 10 years as an academic. I'm a research, right? I have PhDs reporting to me, not one, not two, not three, and I don't have a PhD. So is this thing going to stretch me? Yes. So it checked that box as well. Then I had to think about, especially for this second role, what does this mean for me personally and for my family? Right? Because with this second role, I needed to move, I needed to relocate my entire family. And I had to have that conversation with my husband to say, what does this mean for us? How are we going to manage this transition? Is it worth the sacrifice? What does it mean for my spouse? The personal family conversation as well. And I'm blessed to be married to somebody who considers me and was even the person saying, can you not see that this job is the next thing in your trajectory? Do God open her eyes, let her see? So if you don't have someone like that, then we sit with the Lord and figure it out, right? But you have to be able to figure out what does it mean for my family. So those are some of the things that I had to think about. Can I add value in this thing? Is it going to be a place where I'm going and I'm just going to go and stay and I can't do anything and it will spoil my resume to date? Will it add value to me and where I am going? Will it stretch me? Will it grow me? Right? And then what does it mean for me personally? I had to answer those questions. And of course, there's a remuneration conversation as well. But I try not to think too much about money, to be sincere with you, because I am of the opinion that when you deliver value, you attract money. So it's important to be able to negotiate properly. Yes, of course, you have to be able to negotiate properly and go prepared to the table for that negotiation. But I don't consider that one of the very first things that you consider that you have to check off the box. It's on the list when you're talking about, is it adding value to me? Was there anything else? I think those are the main things that. Oh yes, and you said something about, when do I push back? When do I say no? I can't do this. Hmm. You push back when it doesn't check off on any of these things. You push back when I can't do it. I don't have what it takes. You're asking me to come and speak on national television. I can't. I didn't. I can. And it was a part of what I knew I needed to do on the job. So I said yes. But if you're someone who public speaking is not your thing, and it's not that you've not tried, it's just that's not me. I'm a software engineer, and they're asking me to come and do public speaking. Because no. At that point, you push back. You push back when it's not going to add value to you. And I say this with a caveat, right? Because sometimes you can add value, but it doesn't seem to be adding value to you. That's not the time to push back. You don't push back when it's not quid pro quo. No experience is lost, right? But I think one of the biggest points when you push back is when it is going to cross your personal boundaries. And again, I say this as someone who is often willing to go over and above. But if this is something that is going to be to the detriment of your health and the detriment of the people you love, then yes, push back. But like I said, it's a dangerous thing to say because mental health, oh, it's not that time. We're talking, it's really, really going to break you. Then you push back.
You see, you've emphasized something that many of our guests have said, and even Mark said as well. The need to embrace being stretched.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't be running away from doing new things and hard work. I don't, if you want to grow, and I say this as someone who may not, who didn't get conscious of this fact early on in her career. I
Hmm.
was just fortunate to be in a system that stretched you automatically, whether you liked it or yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it took years for me to sit back and realize that, see, NECA, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, Seth, recently, 3 years ago, you know what? NECA, change is hard.
Mm.
Everybody struggles with change. Can you just accept it
Yeah.
that you struggle with change? It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You are not
Yeah.
odd. So let me say that to anyone here who is new on your career. You're just, change is hard. It's not you.
Yeah.
We all like
Yeah.
to be comfortable. We all like, no, but we want to do the same thing over and over again. But you see, even the child that wants to learn to walk has to be willing to sustain bruises. Oh.
Yes.
It's not enough to desire what you are seeing other people doing. The child is looking at elder ones. People are work this thing on their bodies, moving, making those people to run, and the child sits. He will not run by wishing.
Yeah.
The only way is to be willing to take that risk of falling. That's the only way.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are
Yeah.
going to grow, if you are going to get bigger, listen, oh, we're talking about people whose profiles you see and you wonder all in one lifetime. Those people, they embrace difficult assignments. That's the truth.
Yeah.
I remember talking to which was one of our guests some episodes ago, and he said even as a leader, supervisor, when they were going for board meetings, it didn't concern him. Oh. He followed them to help him to print. He used his own car
Mm-hmm.
to run to the office to go and print.
Wow.
On his way back, he had accident. He came down, jumped it. He said he was like a week that he was telling his leaders that they're like that you won't believe that he's a follow a leader as well. He was running around. What that did was all the board papers, because he's the one printing them and everything. He began to
You
understand.
read everything.
When you see him tomorrow and his profile, don't now be comparing yourself and saying this life they are
Mm.
partial. That's what I want. I want anyone listening on this call to take that in. That's very important. Success leaves clues. The
Yeah.
footprints are clear and large. If you put your feet in them, you will walk the same path. On that,
Mm,
you will
mm,
walk the same path, right? It is
mm,
embracing those difficult tasks. It's embracing them.
mm,
That will make a world of difference for you. Is embracing them,
mm.
right? And you
Yeah.
talked about
Yeah.
when to push back and when not to push back, right? You talked about if you to cross your personal boundaries, right? Ask yourself, can I add value? Let's expand a bit on this point you made about being able to take on a new assignment in a familiar environment. When you're down.
Yeah.
In fact, it's the way you
Yeah.
said it that framed it for me.
Hmm.
So how you have something in your head,
Ooh,
right? Sorry.
sorry.
So you know how you have something in your head, but the way you said it put language to it for me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Explain, just share your experience around that, the fact of taking a bigger assignment in already familiar territory
Mm, mm,
and
mm.
how that's an
Hmm.
advantage and how you should. Please, let's talk about that one.
Sure. So I'll be sincere. There's some organizations where you may not get the opportunity. Um, but I think that in most organizations, there's an opportunity to trick your head where it's not your business. You know, whose page? It was your page. I saw something about my. I have not read. I just saw the caption. Your mother taught you to mind your business. I had a feeling where you were going was somewhere along these lines as well. I have not watched that video, but this thing of it's not my business. Oh, let me leave it alone. They didn't call me there. They are doing conference in the office and they are looking for volunteers. Please, even if they're not looking for, you know that they're going to need someone to print paper. But no, it's not my business. So let me mind my business. Let me stay in my job description area. Okuya, stay there, you hear? So for me, I've been privileged to be invited to take on additional responsibility in areas that were beyond my scope within the organization. Some of it was volunteering, something is happening and I can be available to step in or whatever. Yes, okay, how can I help? You step in. But I think that's one of the biggest opportunities for growth is when this is an organization I'm familiar with. You're not having to do application. I beg to apply. they are not promising that they will increase your salary, but it is something you can add to your resume. You may meet somebody else in that place that will be the connection to something, to the next opportunity for you, that will inform you of an opportunity or a training opportunity or a certification that you've been looking to do. But it's just an opportunity for you to grow yourself while staying in your comfort zone, so to speak. Because what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work out. You just come back to your regular job. And I think this applies even beyond the workplace. So one of the boards that I sit on, it was a friend inviting me. I'm setting up this company. Can you please come and sit on my board? If I was am I saying the two of them, this other bigger organization that I sit on this board, Unorthodox, it was our founder that recommended me and said, I think Elizabeth will be good for this thing. And when I saw the email, I literally messaged because I was reporting to him. I said, Esa, is this for you? Is it you they're inviting to this thing? He said, no, I recommended you. I think you will be good on it. I've been on that board now for over 4 years. Been with that board through a transition. They just invited me to do something else within the organization. I just saw the email today now to do something else within the same organization. But I could easily have said, oh no, I don't have the time. It's going to stretch me. I don't have the capacity. It's more, no. Say, Pastor M will say yes first. Say yes first. So yeah, that's what I can say about it. It's sometimes those opportunities come within your organization, and sometimes they come on the outside, and they hardly ever come paid. By the way, you see people telling you, "I sit on the board of blah 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 blah." Not many of them are getting paid. They are not telling you. Now, I will tell you, most board appointments are not exactly paid. Mhm. So let me just
And
leave it
I'm
there.
very happy you mentioned that part about getting paid. It was a very important because we anyway, I think it's human nature, but as employees, I feel like we are so clouded, right? And no, I'm an able woman. Let's just be clear, right? I'm not against you making money. I don't play with my money,
Yeah.
but can get so clouded with, oh, I want to get paid, I want to get paid, that we lose out on the many other benefits of employment.
Yes. Yes.
Like you said, where you can put your head. They did not invite you, you put your head there.
Yes.
Whose profile is getting bigger? Yours.
Yours.
With minimized risk, like you said. Do you understand? So, best
Yes.
case, they will say the project did not have removed it. Let me focus on my work. At least I know I've tried that one. Next.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So
They
we've
are
got
setting up a committee. Sorry to cut you. They're
no,
setting
go
up a
ahead.
committee in the office. Oh, we need to create a community of practice on something. Who is anybody interested? Oh, we need to create a committee that is going to work on something. Are you interested? And you just sit down.
Am
It's
I the
not my job description. It's not part of what they asked me to do. Are you going to pay me extra? They say no, it's a volunteer role. No, I don't have the capacity. But you don't know that by joining that community of practice, when they're thinking of people to invite to do training in that particular area of practice, you will be the first person that they invite.
Of
And
course.
that training might be international. They are saying they are setting up a committee. That means you have an opportunity to inform policy. That means you will get experience in drafting policy and creating documents that are relevant to areas that you were not trained in. Then you will be
Right.
sitting with other people that have expertise in that area. So you will get small training in that area. Then you get flagged. Then they tell you, oh, come and present to this committee on the board because you were on this committee. Then you get connected to CEO or something, 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 something that sits on your company's board, which otherwise you wouldn't have had exposure to. Volunteer now.
See, ladies and gentlemen, did you see the path that Tolu took us through in this volunteering? It was like watching a movie. Watching, honestly, it was like, I sounded like Pastor M. It was like watching a movie, like how you're one step to volunteer. See the path, and this is not this is not no, this is not a gimmicks. This is not magic. This is not,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
No.
what's the English word for fabu? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what.
Stick with gimmicks. Just stay with
I
gimmicks.
should stay with gimmicks. I'll be okay. So let me stay with gimmicks. It's not. It's not. I promise you, I'll be professional. I'm trying. I think I've tried so far. Right? It's not gimmicks. It's not, painting fairy tales. It's not. It's real how those opportunities come to you, how they
Yeah.
boost your profile
Yeah.
because you are willing to add value. It's
Mm-hmm.
interesting how you begin to unlock things in you didn't even know you had.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
one thing. So I want you to give us a particular example, right, of
Mm.
how volunteering has helped you.
Hmm. Where do
Think
I
of
want to start?
one. Exactly. Think of one, right? I will share one while you're thinking. I remember volunteering to perform spoken word in the office.
Mm.
You look like it had nothing to do with the work and it wasn't the business of anybody. But that thing, I remember performing one of the ones I performed, and my two leaders, senior leaders, when your team member has done something very creative, they stood up to come and welcome me from the stage, like the whole office. It built my
Wow.
profile and visibility in the office like nothing else, right? And that thing has boosted my visibility even after. Today, I was talking to somebody today, or was it yesterday, and she was saying somebody said that in the office, this, that, that, I've left, and I was like, I don't even know
Yeah.
the person. The person said, oh, that he knows I don't
Wow.
know him, but he knows me, and has put in a word for me to somebody who wants to give me business.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How many years later? Years later. So the one that comes to mind was volunteering to be on the founding team for the Yale Young African Scholars Program. So some people who are watching this may know YYAS. YYAS has been running since when did I leave here? 2014. So it's been running since 2014. So this is now, they did the, this year was 10th edition because they skipped a year in between. And it was an idea from undergrad. So I was at Yale. I was my final year of my master's, and one student had said, oh, because Yale has this Yale Young Global Scholars Program that invites high school students from around the world. You come onto the Yale campus, experience being, on an Ivy League campus in the northeast of the United States, and you're exposed to these top-notch professors from everywhere, really engaging in these cerebral conversations about the world and all of those things. And one of the undergrads that I knew, I don't even remember where we were when this convention was happening. Maybe it was the Africa Council or something. And he said, first of all, it was undergrad. I was a postgrad. But the girl we're talking about, and if maybe one day Ameze will watch this, was the daughter of my mouse, Bello Osage. So two things actually happened for me out of that conversation, out of that this volunteering opportunity, because nobody paid me. So, but Ameza was one of the people, we should do this. Why don't we have one that is focused on Africa? They say they are serious about Africa. Why don't they do one for Africa? That's how we put our head inside. Nobody called us. We put our head inside, wrote proposal, design program, how we should go, one thing, two thing, and went and submitted it to the Office of Global Studies at Yale. Those ones who said, this is not a bad idea. And we say we're serious about, they say, okay, since you people are interested in this thing, for us to know that you know what to do. Are you there? You are frozen. Or is it me that is frozen? Neka. Hello? Hello? Uh-oh. Whose network? So for people who are online, could you please drop a comment and let us know if you can still hear me or Neka? Emanuela, Jesus blessing, are you still there?
Out.
Hi sis.
I'm back. Sorry.
Welcome back.
So
No, it's fine.
I was, I think I have to even switch ISPs. Can you hear me? It seems to be breaking
Yes, I can
still.
hear you. I can
Okay.
hear you.
I was on the internet modem that is plugged directly to power. So the lights went
Oh,
off and it
oh.
went off. So
Okay. No, no
now
problem.
I'm on another one, but that one is not as good.
Oh no.
I'm not. It's not as good as this one. So let
And it has gone. Come back now.
this is better than the other one. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
here you are. You're back.
Yes, this is better than the
We
other
can hear
one.
you.
Let this part. Well, it is well with us in Nigeria. It is okay. The light has just been shaking. I've said I won't be faced by any issues, any interruptions. It's fine. We'll just make it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll make it do. So sorry
We make
about
it work.
people,
Yes.
right?
No, it's fine.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
carry on, please.
No problem. Yeah, so that's how we carried our head on and submitted proposal that nobody invited us to submit. And this thing was going to cost the university serious money. So they said, okay, this is a good idea. In retrospect, I'm like, what did we swallow? But we just swallowed something. They said, okay, for you to do this, we want you people to actually serve as um, facilitators in the Yale Young Global Scholars Program. Right. So I said multiple things came out of this for me. So I got to serve as a facilitator in YYGS. So it is now part of my resume as an educator. Right. So we did that so that we could get training and exposure to the way the YYGS program is structured. So, cut long story short, we ran the inaugural set of that program in two countries, Ethiopia and Ghana. I had never been to Addis before this. So Yale paid for me to go to Addis to go and set this up. And then we went to Accra as well to deliver the program. It was a fantastic experience, all from just saying, let's try something. Now, I met with the current project program manager for YYAS this year. He came to my office to come and meet with me. Why? He was in Nairobi and he found out that, Yale alum, and he was on the founding team, and he came to Rwanda. They did something here and came to my office to come and meet me. And I'm looking at them, and it is the same logo I designed then that they are still using. No joke, sis. I told him, I said, I have clear memories of placing these stick figures around this African map. I remember doing it in my head. And that is still the logo. 10 years on, 11 years on that YYAS is using. And the guy is telling me, we want to recruit from you, blah, blah. And I'm just looking at it. Now, when I look at my resume, it's like, oh, yeah, I did that too. I don't know if it happens to you
Yeah,
when
yeah, yeah,
you're
yes,
looking at your
yes,
resume and
yes.
like, oh, I did that. Oh, I did that. Nobody paid me, but I did that. I did that, right? All from just volunteering and saying yes.
Ah, ladies and gentlemen, this is a case of this is a drop mic moment. Yeah, because when they say you explain that, evidence. Evidence is everywhere. Oh. There's
Yes.
evidence everywhere. You do yourself a disservice. You cut yourself short when you don't bring yourself forward, volunteer for opportunities to contribute.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You do yourself
Yes.
a disservice. I don't know the other English I
Yes.
can use to explain this thing. Honestly, you do yours. I remember during when the lockdown happened, people were migrating to trying to work offline, online rather.
Mm.
And I said, let's organize a webinar in my team, right? And my partner then
Mm.
was as a still a manager, I think, and it was like,
Mm.
sure, can we pull it off? In my head, I had been in webinar sessions, I had organized one or two Zoom things. So why can't I? We should be able to. Nobody asked me to. It was an idea I came up with. That let's stay in contact with our clients, XYZ. Do you know when I finished pulling this, he was in doubt. Are you sure you can pull it up? Are you sure we need to have a longer runway to prepare in all those English and do
Mm.
this thing now? What's there? Fast forward to successfully doing it, and then an email goes to the head of the division that NECA is the first person to pull off firm wide, a Zoom webinar that everybody clients. I was like, hey, I didn't even know I was doing
Eh.
FM wide. I didn't even know it was the first. All my own was how do we keep in touch with our clients in this period that we can't go to their offices? Let's do organize, and from there, your thing just carried on. So you miss out on opportunities to build first into your profile when you don't volunteer.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
headspace where you are to volunteer. Our time is fast spent. So let me ask this question, right? You talked
Sure.
about working remotely for a while.
Mm. Mm.
I don't even know where to ask the question from, which angle and lens to look at it. I'm not sure. So I'm going to allow you to talk to us about that. How are you able to succeed on that role? Because I say succeed because if you hadn't succeeded, you won't be where you are, right? So how can someone who is working fully remote, watching this, right, in a proper working remote in a proper structured environment, not just an ad hoc,
Mhm.
but proper structured, how can they retain relevance? Share with us as much as you can tips to help that kind of person.
Mm. Sure. The One of the first things I realized when I compared myself to other people who were working remotely at the time was I took it seriously. And this is what I mean. There is a tendency when you're working remotely to carry your office with you everywhere. So you are going to the market or you need to go to the market. You go to the market during the workday. You need to go and visit a friend. You schedule it during your workday. You need to treat it as if you are actually at work. You need to get up, have a bath, get dressed, and sit at your desk. You need to assume that you cannot do anything else with those hours when you are working remotely. It is you are still at work. So if you need to then go and do school pickup or go for PTA, you treat it as if you have to leave your office, aka you will get permission or you will put a block in your calendar to say out of office during this period. Because I think that was one of the things that maybe differentiated me when I compared myself to other people. Because I realized that when people are working remotely, they will just, the office is in my pocket. No, it's not. They can call me on my phone if they need me. No. Or if you don't have a meeting, then you're not at your desk. Where are you and why are you not at your desk? What are you doing? So there was that. Um, there's also, I would say, creating for your own mental space, right? Separating your life from work when you're working. So I was working remotely with a young child, right? My first daughter grew up through the years that I was working remotely. But I made sure that there was somebody taking care of her. I see pictures when they talk about online work. No shade if you don't have the capacity, but if you're Nigerian, you very likely do. If you're anywhere on the continent,
Mhm.
you very likely have the capacity to get help. Because I see people who are working remotely and their child is in their lap and the laptop is on the table. First of all, how is your daughter not pouring milk in the laptop? I don't understand how that is working. But there should be a separation of work and life, right? And again, I know that this will not be a possibility for
But
everybody,
yep, yep.
but if you can, you should. So my daughter learned, mommy is at work.
Mm.
I close the door. I come out at lunchtime. If I want to stretch my leg, I stand up and walk around in my room. I didn't have a home office. My home office was my bedroom.
Mm.
So I stand up and I walk around and stretch my legs. So when I'm going into my room, into my office in the morning, I go with my water, I go with my snack, I go with everything I'm going to need. I make my bed like as if I'm not there. And I sit at my computer and I work. And then when I shut down at 5 or at 7 or whatever, I shut down. Because that's the other challenge that people working remotely have is because you don't make it clear that I'm working 9 to 5 because baby comes in and interrupts you. You stand up and go and cook ofe nsala. You are taking a call in the middle of making jollof rice. You end up working till 9.
Yeah.
Then it is work is spilling into my life because your life has spilled into work during the work day. So it will spill in the other direction, right? So that was another thing for me. There's a lot in terms of working remotely. Even simple things like your background. Why am I seeing a towel behind you? Why? Don't do it. Or even your internet connection. Simple logistical things. Invest in a good modem. You are not spending transport money. Invest in option one, option two, internet.
Option three, you. Hmm.
Option three.
Hmm.
Let me leave it there for now.
You see, what you shared is so important, right, for people who are working remote because I've experienced it. When life spills into work, there's also the guilt of I
Yes.
was away for 2 hours, and then you are now on a perpetual hamster wheel of working. and
Yes.
it's not good for your health. It's not even good for your
Mm-mm.
family because there's no time that you stop working to give focused attention, even if it's 5 minutes, even if it's 10 minutes. You are constantly
Yes.
on and it's not good for you. So I really like how
Yeah.
you've broken it down in terms of taking it seriously. Like have your bath.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That one is a different
Mm-hmm.
word. Dear remote worker, have your bath.
Have your bath. Make your hair or wear a wig.
Do you understand? Don't show up like they will understand now. All of us are in the no.
Don't sit in your bed. Buy a. I said I didn't have office with table. It was a plastic chair and plastic table. Nigga. But I will not sit in my. If I'm sitting in my bed, I'm exhausted. Like I'm actually tired,
Tired.
and my legs are. I'm tired. Is why I'm like the times when I was pregnant. Okay, I need to put my feet up.
Of course.
But other than that, I am sitting in my chair. If I must have a meeting during the day with somebody else, I will block it in my calendar that I'm counseling this teenager at this time. Then, young man, you have to go now. I need to go back
To
to work.
work.
Then I go back to work.
So there's the need for everyone here listening. You must respect your employer's time.
Yes.
Respect your employer's time. Respect your employer's time. Oh, you may say,
They're
"Oh, it
paying you
doesn't
for it
matter.
now.
It doesn't matter." Well, there is a universal principle at play. You need to respect your employer's time. You committed, nobody forced your hand. You signed the contract and said, I want to work with you. Between this time and this time, you said yes. So can you even show yourself some respect that I have respect for contracts?
Mm-hmm.
Show yourself some respect. So what is
Mm-hmm.
one thing you would tell Tolu of 15 years ago about, I mean, first of all, let me ask this question. Would Tolu of 15 years ago have imagined that you'll be where you are today?
No. No. No.
And I make bold to say that if you put together, anyone watching this, the principles of passion and diligence, no matter how grand your career dreams are today, if you keep those two things, you'll be blown away.
Yeah.
10 years from now, you can there's no you don't your brain today does not have the capacity to imagine where you would be if you put together
Mm.
passion and diligence. Like, I'm going to do this thing to the best of
Mm-hmm.
my ability, and I'm going to do it because I want to help and make a difference. When you put those two things together,
Mm-hmm.
your brain today cannot create where you
No.
are. So tell
No.
us what you would tell Tolu of 15 years old. I mean, what you can share, right, about where Tolu of today is and what mattered in.
Um. Hmm. What would I tell Tolu? 15 years ago was by 2025. That was 2002.
10.
I can't do math again. 2010. Ha. 2010. Tolu was in Calabar. Tolu was in Calabar. What would I have told Tolu back then? Well, first thing I would have told Tolu is, can you get that PMP certification? Don't just do the exam. Do the certification, Tolu. Don't just do the exam and move away. Like, actually get the paper. But I would have also told Tolu to be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. I had big expectations. Um, Big expectations of what the future could look like, but I also didn't really have a clear 5, 10 year plan. I just couldn't picture it. And that put me under a lot of pressure
Hmm.
because people around me with 5 year plan, 10 year plan, this is where I want to achieve this. And I just couldn't. It just wasn't me. So I would tell her to be kind to yourself. You know the things that you're passionate about. You're passionate about young people. You're passionate about the environment. Own it. Own those things that you're passionate about and really invest yourself in it. But be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Yeah, that's probably what I would have told. That's what I would tell Tolu.
I,
2010.
I think one of the things I'm hearing you say is that sometimes, the people around you can put pressure, all right? And you need to be careful the pressure that is good for you and the pressure that just limits you or paralyzes.
That is not.
right? There's
Mm-hmm.
pressure that is fire, but there's pressure that just paralyzes, that just makes you feel like there's no point trying. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
while it's good to have plans, you also have to be yielded along the journey as well. That
Mm-hmm.
evolution to say, oh, this is what I studied, the opportunity has presented itself. Why not? If not, let's go
Yeah.
for it and make
Yeah.
the most of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. Guys, tell me, have you found value this evening? Have you found me? My notes literally 1 page long. Like I've been taking notes. So I've been taking notes. Just peradventure, you haven't been taking. I've taken notes, right? And like I always say on these lives, I am the first beneficiary, to be honest. Learning from people who are my people, my corner. But I'm just learning more and more, and amassing that knowledge to help you, right? So thank you very much, Tolu. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank
much for
you.
giving your time to this. I don't take it for granted, and everyone here is grateful. We've learned, we've been impacted by it, right? So let me allow you go. Thank you very much, everyone who is.
Thank
I
you.
forgot something I used to do while now. I got carried away. I always ask people to repost in the middle of the program. I didn't even say it once.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys,
You posted this at one point. No, sis, before I go, I want to say something.
please go ahead.
One of these episodes needs to be you in the hot seat.
Ewo, ha.
Yes.
Hold on. This
Yes.
life before this. You see these human beings. You see people.
No.
That's that. This life. People, human beings. We will talk about that. For now,
Yes.
let me be in. Don't worry, we will come there. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for staying here, and thank you, sis. I really don't take this for granted. We are very
Thank you.
God
Thank
bless
you.
you. My
Thank
love
you
to
so
the
much.
family.
Thank you for the
Thank
opportunity.
you so
Thank
much,
you.
everyone.
Love to the fam.
Please